Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have one of my favorite Terrans of all time, the Towel Terran. I've been rooting for this guy for years. I remember when the GSL booth fell on his head. I was so happy. One of the reasons I was so excited to join Psystorm was because this guy was on it. Sadly, no longer part of the team, but always in our hearts. It is Gumiho. Looking very strong in this last GSL season. The last year, I would say, Gumiho has had some very impressive results, considering he is often, I think, overlooked a little bit. And he's a very strong player and a little unorthodox, a little bit wild. And that's why we love him. His opponent, also an old school name. Somebody that back in the day could have contended for best Zerg in the world. I think at points, there's not much of an argument to be made. He was the best. And has had some solid results in the last few years, but hasn't quite made it back up to that mark. But should give us a very good series here. It is DRG, Dong Regu. And he's on Abydos. Abydos. I actually don't know how to pronounce that. I've read it a bunch of times, but I think this is the first time I've cast an Abydos player. Huh. Gonna do a little prediction for Twitch chat on who's gonna win. I think Gumiho's gonna be favored here. Got the higher seed in the bracket, you know. But I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be close. I'm excited to see if Gumiho goes for any mech. It's always fun to see mech. It's such a rarity still in this day and age. But it's always fun to see players going for mech. Reaper trying to get real fancy here. But the drone morphs into the spore. Buys enough time for those queens to come out. Yeah, I really enjoy watching Gumiho play. He's got such a variety of playstyles at his command that I feel like it can make it really tough to play against him. Because you never really know exactly what you're up against. He seems like the kind of player, almost like Dark, who has a really solid idea of what he's going for, but it feels like at any point in the game, could just switch it up. At any point, a building you're not expecting could go down. Units could start coming out that you just aren't prepared for, like mentally, and that is so difficult to play against. And very few players can pull that off at a really high level. Again, Dark, I think, is possibly the best example. It might be a little more common in Protoss, but I don't even know if that's true. Hero might be a player like that, where kind of at any point you're like, why is he building these units? And the opponent's just completely unprepared for them. And you're like, oh, I see, that's why. They also, all these players have just such a, again, a wide variety of builds and play styles they can use, and they do use. Not just that they can use, but that they do use. That you never really know what to expect. Even if it's just standard play, you always have to have that in the back of your mind. Oh, this looks like a nice standard opening for Gumiho. Could be double battle cruiser behind it. Genuinely, a build he's probably done in the last month or two, right? And DRG might have been the guy on the ladder that hit him at that point, you know? And you got to kind of think of it. Now, it is just going to be Banshee here. Looks like just one Banshee. Gumiho not going for Cloak. Or two Banshees, but still no Cloak. Stim follow-up. Very standard play to Gumiho, and I think this is honestly what's made him extra scary in the last, I'd say, year or so. His standard play, I think, has gotten a lot better. Gumiho, I don't think, was ever really known for his standard, like, marine tank kind of play, being at that top highest level, which is what made him kind of a volatile player. But now that his standard play has gotten up to that top level, it means, yeah, he can still pull out those crazy strats, or he can just go for a a bunch of Marines, upgrade them, maybe tanks, maybe Widow Mines, who knows. And he's still just as scary. I'm excited to see how DRG handles it. I haven't gotten to cast a lot of DRG in the last year. I'm going to use 1 year as the baseline for time here. I don't think there's an armory with this, but it looks like Gumiho is going to put some pressure on. Let's see. No armory. Double eBay going down. This is a full committal to Marines behind this. So Gumiho just poking and prodding with the Hellions, with the Banshees, clearing a lot of this creep. There's a lot of Queens for DRG. Ooh, and a big run by. There is a wall. Gumiho should be able to pop that wall up in time. There's not a lot of Marines out, though. There are 3 Marines to defend this base. They stim backwards. They're going to try to hold on as long as possible. Gumiho desperately trying to just delay the SCVs from dying till those Hellions can get back, and the Lings just leave. Just leave. They pull the army back. That's going to give time for this creep to start spreading. I think that was nice for DRG. Didn't really lose much. Didn't really kill much. But got the Hellions away for a little bit. And I got some of that creep spreading again. But the creep is going to be a real problem for him. It got pushed back pretty hard by those Hellions and Banshees. Ooh, now the Lings going to get caught a little bit by these Hellions this time. Marines on the other side. They do get surrounded, but the Hellions are here. Oh, and the tank even gets lifted. All of those Lings going down, just trading for a few Marines. Really not that many in that fight. Even a couple Overlords getting popped here off the back of it. Banshees at the same time trying to get some drone damage. It doesn't look like they got any done, though. The Queens pushed them away for now. But now Marines and Hellions going to push out on the map. 1-1 is finished for Gumiho. And he does have the armory this time. He could just morph these into Hellbats to help make this push even stronger. More Lings on the way. There are a few Banes, few more Banes being morphed right now. There are those Hellbats. The tank that stayed alive earlier is going to add a lot of fire to this. Queen's trying to hold with the transfuses, killing a lot of these Hellions, actually. I really like the way DRG is handling this. Second tank shows up. Lings and Banes getting ready to go. It doesn't look like Bane speed is even on the way, but DRG has to pull the trigger. Bane's getting targeted down by the tanks. Big flank of Lings, and DRG is going to clean this up and push it away. Very nicely handled by DRG. Great patience there, just waiting, getting that Ling flank set up, getting enough Banes out. Really needs to start up Bane speed, as Hydra upgrades are finishing before Bane speed even starts. Hopefully he realizes that very soon, as these Banes are waddling around. Gumiho, though, still around, still getting damage done. Gonna start working on this hatchery. Might have to lift up and get out of here. But that hatch getting very low. Looks like a command center was forced to cancel here with the Ling counterattack. But now the Marines hit over on the left top side. Base is a little bit exposed. Ling's getting sent across. Gonna force the medevacs to lift up and get out of there. But a few drones going down. Now it's time for this little group to hit again. DRG was ready for it, though. He's gonna force the lift off. All right, action on both sides of the map here. DRG taking a little bit of damage, but Gumiho doesn't have that 4th base. It was canceled. So his 4th is feeling quite late here, as DRG, despite it being very low, he does have the 5th, and he's got the 6th on the way. Again, the creep spread has been pushed back very, very hard here for DRG, so it's just barely covering his bases. He's trying to get it pushed out a little bit more, but Gumiho is not giving him time for that. I love these cloakless Banshees that are just still getting damage done. A couple more drones going down. Looks like Gumiho is going to try to push the front. DRG is kind of ready for it, though. Still no Bane speed, and I feel like DRG is really missing this opportunity. Oh, no, he's got Bane speed. Okay, sorry, I looked like those Banes were waddling still. Oh, Gumiho not watching for a second, and the Banes absolutely smashed that group of Marines. There are some more Marines here. It looks like there's a siege tank as well. Plenty to hold on against that small group of army. The Banshees, ooh, not quite seeing their last day, but as the Hydras are out now, it looks like they might be. Tank actually gets a really nice shot dead center of the Banes before it goes down. But Gumiho doesn't have a lot of aggression on the map anymore. This little push getting pushed away. This base ended up staying alive. DRG holding on to it, really, really important. This fourth base for Gumiho going to morph into a planetary, I'm guessing. He does have a good amount here to defend, but going to have to split well against the Banelings that are coming. Gumiho realizes DRG might want to go for an attack. DRG decides to back up at the very last second, forces that stim. Drop going to try to come in here. Banelings actually don't kill anything. Somehow those Marines got picked up as that Baneling went off. That's wild. DRG moving around the right side with the majority of his forces. Ooh, a lot of Marines here though, but they are very grouped up as those Banelings show up. Gumiho needs to split. Not the best splits right now as he stims backwards, but off creep. He can outpace these Banelings. The Banelings getting stuck behind the Hydras. That is not where they want to be. It looks like Gumiho might end up losing a lot of this, but I think he's taking a really nice trade, killing a lot of Lings and Banes. The Hydras will eventually trade okay with the Marines. If we look at the supplies, DRG is still maxed, remaking a lot of those units. He's getting into Lurkers right now. Adrenal is nearly done. 3-3 on the way here for Gumiho, and it looks like DRG is going to clean up this little push. No, he's going to go for a counterattack. Siege tank left all alone. No Marines here to help out. The bio stims backwards to assist. Some Widow Mines coming out now. It looks like Banelings and Lings clearing this up, pushing these units away. This is a lot of bio units from Gumiho, though. DRG definitely has to respect that. God, these Banshees are insane. It's 20 kills between the two of them. Drones, Lings, Banes. It's crazy. They're still alive. I don't think they've even been repaired. Gumiho's just been so good about microing them back every time they get hit. Gumiho's going to push through the center now. He's got this 5th base planetary getting set up with the siege tank. And he's going to start pushing through the middle. This is actually really dangerous for DRG. It gives Gumiho a couple of different paths of attack here, as well as he's got that drop still in the upper left, kind of threatening that area. Widowmine's trying to get some good shots, get some Lings, but not a ton here. Bio moving down here, maybe trying to secure this base, but at the same time, Gumiho push it in. Looks like he's going to kill DRG's 6th hatchery. And that puts them back on even bases. DRG says, no, I don't like that. I don't like that. I want to be up a base. But this hatchery, remember this one from earlier, could get sniped down, but no, the Lings, Banes, and Hydras are here in time, but is it enough of them? Lings and Banes kind of move commanding forward. DRG getting these Lurkers now, morphing them. He needs to get them up. Oh, Baneling's pretty good. A couple of units getting picked up, but it looks like the Banshees, oh my god, they're still alive. How are they still alive? This base also still alive. DRG was able to defend it. He has the Lurkers out now. But now Gumiho has 3 factories. He's got Widow Mines and tanks coming out. A lot of ghosts already on the field. There's like 7 of them here. Liberators as well. Gumiho definitely feels like he's ahead. I thought for sure this was Banshee Cloak, and I got really confused. I was like, no, he wants those Banshees to keep living. Gumiho desperately needs a 5th base, though. His natural is getting pretty low on mining. Yeah, even the 3rd base down to just 4 mineral patches. The 4th is the only fresh base. He did kill that 6th for DRG, but it's about to finish back up. And this 5th has been mining very nicely for a long time. DRG is going to push in right now, dropping some critical blinding clouds and sending this bio army backwards. The Banelings smashing into a lot of stuff. 5th base, not 5th basin, that's for sure. But ghosts are going to start to come out and could get some snipes on these retreating units. In fact, the bio looks like they're going to go ahead and take down a couple of these Lurkers. Going Burrows to save itself. But Gumiho, I think, ended up taking the better end of that fight. Let's take a look. You know what? It looks like it's still a little bit better for DRG. He killed a lot of ghosts, tanks. He finally killed those Banshees. And now DRG going to move over to the left side and try to hit this 3rd base. He's got a lot of stuff here. Gumiho really needs to respect this. He's going to blow up a couple of SCVs, and he's going to tap back out. Oh, a lurker finds a cheeky spot against this planetary, and he's starting to target down some of these SCVs. DRG having a tough time dealing with both at once, losing a lot of workers. Baneling's rolling in, and DRG takes game 1 as Gumiho is forced to tap out. Wow. What a game. Honestly, felt really good for Gumiho there for a minute, but DRG losing the 6th immediately kills Gumiho's 5th. Gumiho wasn't able to get that next base set up. The lurkers were out, and DRG all of a sudden was everywhere. He was hitting on multiple sides, winning fights that like a minute before he was losing. Sorry, link in the lobby. Yeah, what a game. What a game. DRG taking game 1. Putting himself up in this series against Gumiho. Gumiho, the only Terran left. Winner of this gets the honor and privilege of fighting Hero in the semifinals. Not an easy one for anybody. All right. Get into game 2. Gresfon's going to be our map. I'm excited. I hope we get a 3-game series. Oh, man. Those are the best. 3 games between these two guys. TVZ. Everybody's favorite matchup. Everybody with sense, that is. But the winner of this actually gets a good bump up in dollars. Both of these players will be getting paid out. But one of them will be getting paid more than the other, as they'll be hitting the semifinals at minimum, trying to pull it back after that defeat in game 1 is our Terran player in the upper left-hand corner in the red, Gumiho. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner, the blue Zerg, taking map 1 on match point. It is Abydos, DRG. Ooh, okay. Gumiho says, no. I want to tie this up real quick. I want to tie this up. I want to spice this up. That's not 1 Rax. That's not 2 Rax, my friends. That is 3 Baraxes. Peroxide. They're in close proximity to Dongregu's base. DRG seems to be en route to scout. We have seen these paths changed before, but it looks like he's going to find this right around the time I think this Marine pops out. And the Overlord, I'm pretty sure, can hide on one of these pillars and like fly away down the little path here. But he gets the all-important scout. Oh, no. Okay, he's going to see the SCV and the Marine here in a second, but oh, that's so painful. It just delays it by just a little bit, and DRG, that's got to hurt. That's got to hurt. First bunker is going down, but the drones are here. SCV is going to run away, cancel on the bunker. Overlord is going to die. Down it goes, and that actually supply blocks DRG, who starts up an Overlord immediately, but can't build anything more than is already building. Fortunately, 6 Lings and 2 Queens are on the way. Drones are coming down. DRG is getting ready to try to bust this, but he can't build any more Lings. Even when this Overlord finishes, he's got to wait for the second one. Lings getting killed here. Drone's going to start getting killed here as Gumiho micros backwards. Can he get the surround? No! Gumiho jukes and jives. And I think we're going to a game 3. because this is already going to be so much drone damage. More lings are on the way. But, oh my god. Oh no. There it is. GG. A massacre of drones there. Gumiho gets the quick win. The unfortunate scouting path of that Overlord. But I think really what it was is the Overlord didn't get confirmation on like how many barracks there were. So there's a difference in how you want to commit in your defense against sorry, I'm reading. There's a difference in how you want to commit in your defense to 2 racks versus 3 racks. And I think DRG did something that would have been very good against the 2 racks, less good against the 3 racks. And losing that Overlord really was the nail in the coffin there, as DRG just couldn't build enough lings to really bust it. But I'm excited. That means we get a game 3. Ooh, boy. To the final game. Final game of this series. It looks like Dave and Flapjack are going to go cover a Dark series. I don't know if Dark versus Silky started already or if they've just been chilling for like 100 years. Because they have been chilling. They were chilling for a while. So check out Dave's channel if you want to keep an eye on that. Pretty sure that's happening right now. But I am excited to stay here and see what happens in game number 3 of what I would call the most burnt barn of the day. The slobberiest knocker of all of them. Game 3 of this TVZ, spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Babylon. For Abydos, it's Dongray Gu. And his opponent in the upper left-hand corner, the Red Terran, it's Gumiho. Now, Gumiho did take the cheeky, cheesy win in Game 2, but I have faith that he can win in a much more normal macro game. But I think he was trying to take that one so that he wasn't just down 0-2, right? It was like, let's either lose this quick or get us to an even state, you know? Put it all on the line. Honestly, it's the play of a champion. You know, you're down 0-1 in a series. What do? You play it safe? You play it standard? No. Balls to the wall. And worked out for Gumiho. And see, the nice thing here, too, is now DRG has to really worry about it. He's got to worry about it again, because every Terran learned from Maru in 2018. And honestly, if you were paying attention, learned from the other Maru, Masa, years before that. Was it 2016, I think? Maybe 2017? That you could just do the same cheese multiple games in a row in a series. You could just do that. Maru did that and won like 3 GSLs in 2018. Masa, I'll never forget Masa playing 5 games against Scarlet and bunker rushing every single game. Just proxy racks bunker rush every game. And winning that series. The good times. And then Masa doing the classic thing. Gumiho, how dare you? Look at that poor bird. What is it, an Urubu? That's so sad, Gumiho. How could you? You don't even get a kill for that in your Reaper. Disappointed in you, Gumiho. This is why he's not on Sizestorm anymore. I lost my train of thought. It doesn't matter. That was more important. This is a very standard opening. As I say that, a bit weird of Gumiho to be going for a Cyclone. This makes me feel like Gumiho's got a plan here. Is this going to be like a Liberator? Something really annoying? Ooh, a Medevac. Okay, so it's got to be a Cyclone drop then. Or like a Cyclone hitting the front while the Marines drop? I don't know. It's a very interesting opening against Zerg. I feel like this is not something we see super often. All right. 4 Marines and a Cyclone and a Medevac running across the map, trying to avoid the vision of DRG. Let's see if DRG sees anything. Okay, well, this will clear an Overlord. Is that what this is for? Is this the Overlord clearing Medevac? I guess it could be. Not going to be any transfuses available, so they could just grab another Overlord. Looks like Gumi's going to head for the main. There's nothing up here. Ooh. Gets it. Gets it with that Cyclone, which has an insanely long lock-on range. Queens will push the Medevac away. You know, kind of cute. Little move out here. Nothing too fancy. Gumiho just dropping a third behind it. More Medevacs coming out, though. This is going to be a third Medevac from a starport without an add-on. Usually if we see a starport building something without an add-on, that tells us that the Terran wants the unit now, wants to attack now. And yeah, Gumiho is going to lift all this up into these 2 Medevacs, or at least most of it. Combine that with the Medevac that's already out on the map, and this is going to be a nasty little push. Maybe what, 12 Marines, a Cyclone, and 2 siege tanks? Yeah, this could be really painful for DRG, actually. Depending on the positioning, this is something that Queens and Lings might have a bit of a tough time against. Especially if he's not expecting it, and without all of that vision on the other side of the map, it becomes a lot harder to scout anything like this. Oh, and that Overlord died. There's another Overlord down here for DRG, though, so Gumiho, he's just going to have to deal with it, bite the bullet. He's going to boost in. There's 5 Queens here and a handful of Lings already. The Medevacs are going to have to back up. 1 Medevac goes down immediately. Lings are here. But is it enough Lings? Queens diving forward. The Queens don't take a ton of damage from the siege tanks. The Marines are getting quite low. The Medevacs not going to be able to lift these units up to get out of there. A lot of Queens going down. More Lings coming out. Looks like these tanks are going to get finished off here. Marines finished off that last Queen. All right, let's take a look at what kind of trades those were. So DRG was able to kill a lot of gas units of Gumiho, but Gumiho killed a lot more in terms of minerals, and killing 6 Queens is very significant. DRG is going to have to just keep rebuilding Queens, because I think he's just on 2 right now, 3. 3 Queens is enough to get the injects going in a couple of these bases. I love this from DRG, though. Just finish this base, immediately expand again. It's going to be really hard for Gumiho to put any pressure on for a little while. That was a big investment for Gumiho. That was all of his early game units. See, his army supply is way down from where we'd expect the Terran to be at this point, because he lost so much stuff. He's lost, he's killed more than he's lost, but 10 Marines, those 2 tanks, a couple of Medevacs too. So even as Gumiho does push out on the map here, it's just a handful of Marines with stim. Just going to try to clear some creep. Clearing creep, pretty important though, as the Queen count is unlikely to get super high again. A lot of times when Zergs lose those early game Queens, they'll rebuild a few, as we're seeing here, but DRG's at 6. That might just be where he stays. That creep spread gonna be important for Gumiho to clear. It's gonna be a little harder to replace down, but we see last game, or no, sorry, game 1, Gumiho is clearing that creep immediately. The moment he doesn't, this game, DRG's got it halfway across the map already. It is just all over the place. And yeah, it was cleared a little bit, but Gumiho's basically just clearing it off his side of the map. And this is really, really nice for DRG. It's going to make it a lot harder, I think, for Gumiho to be out on the map like he was in game 1. So he sacrificed a lot of this kind of mid-game map presence and pressure for that early game attack, which, I mean, it traded well, but it didn't really do much. He wasn't killing bases. He wasn't killing drones even. And now, yeah, these units are getting pushed away. They're not even close to a base. They're nowhere near getting damage done to DRG. Does look like DRG wanted to take this base. Those drones are over there. But not going to happen. DRG doesn't really need it. He's chilling on 5 bases right now. I think swatting these Marines away is going to be the most important thing before trying to set up another base. Woo! Gumiho not paying attention there for a second. Does end up eating a bit of a Baneling shot. Looks like he's trying to set up a 4th base, but DRG seems to want to push. There are some siege tanks here. This might be a tough place to push. He's just busting on these rocks. I don't know if he's actually going to put the pressure on. He's on 88 drones. I mean, kind of might as well at this point. Breaking down the rocks on both sides. Needs to deal with this drop. Well played, Sport Crawler. Medevac trying to move around. DRG, it looks like he wants to push in here. He's going to get a tank shot or 2. Decides to back up. Doesn't want to overcommit. There's a good amount here for Gumiho. He's got quite a bit of bio. In a nice position to try to defend these bases. Still has these drops out on the map. Being annoying. Actually, this one was able to make it behind the main base. Now it's able to pop back in, pop a couple of drones, force the units back up here, and then boost back over to the corner. In the meantime, Gumiho getting into drilling claws for his Widow Mines. And yeah, just popping down more barracks. Does have a siege tank on the way too, so yeah, it is going to be triple factory once again. This is really nice play from Gumiho. I was worried DRG was just going to go for an all-out attack, and there's no way Gumiho could have held that earlier. But now, I actually think he might have a chance. We might find out here in a moment. One of those tanks not sieged up. DRG starts pushing in. Widowmine's trying to go off. Tanks trying to target fire the Banelings. Marines need to run backwards. Banelings decide to change direction, but now they're running towards a planetary. That is not where they want to be. And Gumiho pushes back that attack very, very nicely. DRG not expecting there to be such a deep line of tanks and bio out of Gumiho. The planetary helping it as well. 24 kills on that bad boy. And that trade ends up much, much better for Gumiho. Now, DRG can afford to take kind of a mediocre trade. He's going up to 6, 7 bases now. He's been chilling on 80-plus drones for minutes. The income definitely DRG favored, but the resources lost heavily in favor of Gumiho, and he's still out here. He's still got this medevac in the back of the base. Being annoying. The Viper might be able to take it out eventually. He was still pressuring on the map up until right before that attack. I kind of assume that little pressure got taken down. But now he's got a really nice setup. He's nearly maxed. He can start getting into Ghosts if that's where he wants to get to. He's got his 5th base set up. I am liking this for Gumiho, but that's what I said in game 1, like 2 minutes before DRG won. So we shall see. Are we going to have lurkers on the way? I don't see their upgrades coming up just yet. Oh my god, there are 4 Marines that just popped that queen and are just being so insanely annoying right now. Looks like the medevac might fall. Finally, this drop is cleared up, but it costs another queen. And now Gumiho is hitting on the left side as well. DRG doesn't have enough over here to defend it. Looks like DRG is trying to put some pressure on at the same time. And by some pressure, I mean a lot of pressure. Marines trying to micro backwards. Gumiho might have to lift up into the medevacs. He does, but now the Banelings and Lings can get on top of this planetary. And that looks like a dead 5th base to me. So Gumiho, again, similar to game 1, kills a 7th base, but loses his 5th. And this is where Gumiho's been struggling against DRG, is getting that 5th base set up. He does get all those changelings, though. Yeah, Gumiho really desperately needs the space. Looks like he's going to float his main. No, he just happens to have another orbital in here, ready to go. He's going to float that orbital over. Obviously not as strong as a planetary. A little Ling run by could be really nice. But what's going to be really nice for DRG, I think, is hitting over on this side. No, he decides to back up. Head over this way. Speaking of a little run by here, Gumiho is actually the one going to do a little bit of a run by. Just a few Marines here trying to be as annoying as possible. Really getting much damage done, forcing a lot of units over to deal with it, and delaying what I think was going to be an attack from DRG. We do have quite a few Widow Mines and tanks over on the left side to try to defend this base. That could make it tough for DRG to try to push in. Gumiho pushing in the top side, trying to take down this 6th base. He will get it this time. And that's going to put DRG back on 5 bases. So now it's 5 base to 5 right now. That is really, really nice for Gumiho, but he is getting caught a little bit in the middle here. He's going to have to lift up and boost away. He's moving back to decidedly not a planetary. He needs to get these units back out of those medevacs. The Viper flies in, drops the Blinding Cloud. It does die to the turrets, though. The bio all the way in the back, but this base is forced to lift. It wasn't really mining that much, and now it's not mining at all. Liberator going to get taken down by the Hydras. And they will take down the base to follow that up. Gumiho's third now maybe in a little bit of trouble. There are a few more siege tanks here, though, and he's got a nice wall set up. But DRG doesn't seem to care. He's going to push on in. There doesn't seem to be enough bio here to push him back. Okay, the Lings and Banes are dead. Hydras want to run away. DRG doesn't want to lose those. That was still a better trade for Gumiho, but I don't know if it's enough of a better trade. He's still around 4,000 or 5,000 resources better, but he has been mining so much less than DRG. This is 10 minutes of game time, and he has 1 peak and whatever this guy is. That is not ideal. Gumiho really, really needs to get some mining going. He did stop DRG from mining at these bases for a while, but now they're both finished back up. DRG back up to 7 bases, still at 84 drones, and he is going to keep the pressure on. He's getting those lurker upgrades now, but in the meantime, he is just going to push on this base, and Gumiho is nowhere nearby. SCE is going to get taken down. Gumiho losing a ton of workers as the Baneling smash forward. And DRG, happy with the damage he's gotten done, has backed up. Gumiho's going to try to put some counter pressure on, even bringing some tanks with this, but the Baneling's getting some good damage done right away, delaying this enough for DRG to get the rest of his units together. And now Gumiho will be fighting at least partially on creep, and that's going to make taking these fights a lot harder. He does have a ton of army supply, though, so despite the fact that he's not mining nearly as much, and he hasn't been, his army is still very, very powerful. It is on 3-3, which is something DRG doesn't have. He's got +3 Carapace, but he doesn't have +3 attack. Ooh, and Gumiho just going to target fire down this base, gets it, and knocks DRG again back down to 5 bases. And this is even more difficult for DRG than it was before. He's starting to mine out his 4th base. The 3rd and natural getting fairly low. Could send some drones back up to the main, perhaps. But DRG kind of desperately needs a 6th base. He's going to try to attack in here. Drops a nice Blinding Cloud. But there's more Liberators behind there. There's more tanks behind there. Baneling's going to get some decent connections. But DRG is going to get pushed back. That fight may have been a bit of an overcommittal. A big trade here for Gumiho. Really, really nice. And that's going to send that resources loss skyrocketing in Gumiho's favor. Plus taking down those 2 bases. This is suddenly, Gumiho's way back in this game. Now this is a huge problem for him, though. One of his very few mining bases here is about to get absolutely shredded by these +2 attack Adrenalings. It'll lift the CC, but 13 SCVs go down in a flash. Gumiho's trying to take this base. I don't know if there's enough to hold on against all of these lurkers. Gumiho's army that he left here is so small. He's trying to stutter step backwards. Widowmine's getting some decent shots. There is a siege tank here, but the planetary is not ready, and these 6 lurkers, oh, it's more than 6 lurkers, say absolutely not. All the SCVs going down. The bio getting the surround, though, killing a lot of these lurkers, but it's so clumped up. Lings coming in from the backside to flank. Lurkers coming up to try to help in the fight. There's more bio down here, but Gumiho is just going to tap out. because no matter how good that fight is, DRG is building more bases behind it. He's got more stuff behind it, and Gumiho will not be able to stay alive. DRG takes the 2-1 victory, taking both of the long, hard-fought macro games there against Gumiho, who I feel like has been looking very strong, and that excites me for DRG. Man, DRG looking good. That is sick.